Hi everyone. This video will cover the solutions to the Chapter 1 sample test. If you have any additional questions, don't hesitate to see me after school for extra help or to send me an email. So we're given this diagram and it says tell whether you can reach the conclusion shown. And we're starting with question number 3. It says, can we assume that angle AXC is a straight angle? So if you take and you follow from A through X to C, notice that it forms a straight line. And in this particular case in geometry, this is the one thing that we can assume from a diagram, is that a line is straight. So the answer for number 3 is yes. Okay, for number 4, it says point Y lies in the interior of angle 3. So if we take a look at angle 3, I'm going to highlight the sides of angle 3. So starting at the vertex C and going out, anything in between the two rays will be in the interior. So the quick answer is yes, we can assume that Y lies in the interior of angle 3. Alright, moving on to number 5. Can we assume that angle ADC is a right angle? So follow those letters along to trace out that angle. So ADC. And while it certainly appears to be a right angle, there's no symbol. So the quick answer is no, don't do that. All right, we do see a right angle in the picture down here in the left-hand corner. Angle DAB is a right angle because we're given a marking to indicate that. Okay, number 6, can we assume that X is the midpoint of line segment AC? No, we can't, because we have no indication that these two line segments, AX and XC, are congruent, and we have no given information that tells us that it's the midpoint or that those segments are congruent. All right, and number 7, can we reach the conclusion that point Y lies between points A and B? No, we can't. Remember that for betweenness, points must be collinear, and if you trace out this line from A to B, notice that point Y is not on the line. Okay, so they are non-collinear. So point Y is not between points A and B. Okay, for number 8, we're switching gears here. They ask us to use the diagram just to name a few things. And in number 8, they just want us to name 3 non-collinear points. So just pick 3 points that are not on one line. You could say, oh, sorry, I wrote it wrong, you guys. I made a mistake here. It says name 3 collinear points. So my fault. So it happens when you do this late at night. So 3 collinear points. We only have 2 options here. You can go along this line. So we can name points A, X, and C, or we can go along this line and say points D, X, and B. So I should have a little bit of space in between there. So AXC or DXB. Those are the only options for us. All right. In number 9, it says name the intersection of ray CX and line AB. Okay, so ray CX goes this way, starts at C, goes through X, and continues on because it goes infinitely in one direction. And then line AB goes through points A and B and continues on infinitely in 2 directions. So their intersection is point A. That's where the 2 objects intersect. In question number 10, it says, which postulate justifies the statement, the length of AX plus the length of XC is equal to the length of this whole line segment AC? you see those two smaller segments, when added together, form the larger segment. So that is an example of the segment addition postulate. So I'll just quickly write that in there. Just going to abbreviate postulate. So segment addition postulate. For number 11, it says, if line segment AC bisects line segment BD, then we have to name two congruent segments. So AC is coming in through line segment BD and bisecting it. So that identifies X as the midpoint of BD. So AC is essentially cutting line segment BD in half. So these two segments are congruent. So it'll be line segment DX congruent to line segment BX. Okay, oops. All right, in number 12, we're asked to name the vertex and sides of angle 1. So if you just look at angle 1, here it is. Those are the two sides. The vertex would be X, where those rays start from. And then the two sides of the angle are rays. So you have ray XD and ray XA. Remember, they don't appear as rays in the picture, but we know that the sides of angles are defined as being rays, so when we name them, we have to put the ray symbol over top. Number 13, we have to name a right angle. There's only one right angle that's indicated in the picture, and that's angle DAB, or you can refer to it as angle BAD, dab or bad. All right, number 14, it says if the measure of angle DXA, otherwise known as angle 1, is 46 degrees, so let's put that in there, then we're asked to find the measure of angle DXC, which is this angle, and also angle CXB right over here. So if you take a look, angle 1 and DXC form this straight angle, so they've got to be supplementary. They have to add up to 180. So to find the measure of angle DXC, just take 180 minus 46, and we get 134 degrees. So the measure of angle CXB, well, if we know that this is 134, this would also have to be 46, because again, those two angles form a straight line going this way. So they have to have a sum of 180 for their angle measures. And we also talked about this idea of vertical angles in class already. So these two angles are vertical angles, so they're congruent. But again, we'll get to that theorem officially later on. Okay, for number 15, it says if the measure of angle DAX is 70, so I can come in here and put 70 degrees, we have to find the measure of angle XAB, which is this angle. Well, that's going to be 20, because we know that this angle is a right angle, so it has to have a measure of 90 degrees. For 16 through 20, it says refer to a number line that is not pictured here. Point A has coordinate of 2 and point B has coordinate of 5. So my suggestion to you is anytime you're given a written description, that you should draw a picture. So here's point A, has a coordinate of 2. Point B has a coordinate of 5. And here are the questions. What is the length of AB? Well, AB, the line segment, has a length equal to 3. So the distance from point A to point B is 3. It says, what is the coordinate of the midpoint of AB? Well, since they're 3 units apart, half of that distance would be 1.5. So if we took and added 1.5 to 2, that would put us at 3.5. So this would be a distance of 1.5 units also. So 3.5 is the midpoint. So it says if A is the midpoint of line segment PB, what is the coordinate of P? So P would have to go to the left here. If A is the midpoint, so this distance is 3, we have to go 3 units in this direction. The coordinate of P would be -1. It says, what is the coordinate of a point that is on ray AB? So it's hard to see on this. It's easier to see in your textbook, but this is actually a ray symbol. It says, what is the coordinate of a point that is on ray AB that is 4 units from B? So we'd have to continue going to the right 4 units. So if we went to the right 4 units from B, it would have a coordinate of 9. And then finally it says, what is the coordinate of a point that is 4 units from B, but that is not on line AB, line segment AB? So that indicates that we want to go from point B, and we want to go 4 units in the other direction, so that it's not on this ray from A through B. So if we go back to that point B, and we go 4 units in this direction, that's going to put us at +1, because 5 minus 4 gives us 1. Okay, for the last 4 questions, these are just really quick ones. For 21, it says, is it possible for a line and a point to be non-coplanar? No, it's not, because that's a theorem that says through a line and a point not on a line, there is exactly one plane. 22, is it possible for the intersection of 2 planes to consist of a segment? No, because remember that planes are infinite, so their intersection is always going to be a line. Now remember, it's tricky because in pictures, because we can't draw something that's infinite, in pictures it's going to appear as a line segment, but you got to use your imagination and picture those planes going on forever so that the intersection goes on forever and becomes a line. For 23, is a postulate an important proof statement, or is it a basic assumption? A postulate is a basic assumption. An important proof statement is a theorem. For 24, it says complete the statement of the postulate. If 2 points are in a plane, then the line that contains the points is in that plane. All right, good luck with your studying. Again, if you have any questions, get in contact with me.